Femininity and masculinity. Masculinity and femininity. Well, I can't speak on behalf of femininity, but this woman right here has the video for you.
So let me tell y'all something that I've learned since I've been on my feminine energy journey. Close your mouth. Now, I'm laughing because I used to be that girl where, like, I always got something to say. I'm going to get the last word. I'm going to cuss you out. I'm going to have my way. And that's just the end of the story. And when God began to tell me to tap into my feminine energy, I realized that that's what I was raised around. Generational curse. I saw my mom speak in that tone, and I saw my grandma speak in that tone, and then I heard stories from my granddad about how my grandma used to speak to him. So I'm just like, this is where I got it from. Like, I was never exposed to women that spoke to men in loving tones. I never saw that. I never saw an example of that. So I wasn't the product of that. And me and my mom have had a talk about it, and she said, I don't know why I did that. Like, the thing about parents is they're growing as we're growing. So when you know better, you do better. So we got to get them grace. But that's another conversation for another day. So through my feminine energy journey, what God has been showing me is that there is power in silence. And that's why he says for women to have a gentle and quiet spirit. And I always thought that not responding or being silent meant that I was weak, when actuality, I don't got to say nothing to you. Because the thing about responding and going off and blowing up and cursing them out is then that gives them a reason to justify their actions, because you calling me out my name, you cursing me out. So now I don't even feel bad for what I did to you. But if you acting crazy and I'm sitting here cool, calm, and collected, your conscience gonna eat you up before anything else. And if your conscience don't eat you up, God gonna deal with you. I promise you. So I don't want this rant to be too long, because y'all know I can go on and on and on and on and on. But the moral of the story is there is power in silence. And you being silent and not getting out of character allows the other person to reflect on their character and their actions without you adding fuel to the fire. You don't need to do that. Because at the end of the day, silence and calmness produces clarity. For me to see, do I really want to be with somebody that make me act like this in the first place? That make me want to get out of character? I think not. So close your mouth and keep your eyes open, and you'll see everything that you need to see without saying a thing.
Shout out to this lady right here, man. Shout out to this young lady, man. City girls and country girls up by 40. In this generation, in this age that we live in, I think it's highly important that we focus on our masculinity and our femininity, man. And of course, we're mixed between the two. There's a balance between both. You can't be all the way left, you can't be all the way right. But in this rebellious era that we live in, where the guy is acting like the woman and the woman is acting like the guy, it is important, and I think it's very much so needed that we attend class that is in session. When there's a classroom in session and it's helping you become a better version of yourself amongst your gender, and it's going to help you maneuver all throughout life, and especially how you deal with a significant other and other people, ain't nothing wrong with that. Because like she said, a lot of us have parents and they dropped the ball, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't make them bad parent, doesn't mean that they didn't do their job. It's just the fact that we're all human, we're all a working process. And if we're actually out here thinking that our parents did us 100% of a favor and gave us all the jewels and laces with all the game, then we're absolutely wrong. The hardest thing that we have to face is the fact that our parents missed some certain things that they were supposed to teach us along the way. And then when we get grown, we're supposed to be mature enough to either accept the game from other folks so we can check ourselves, or we can either check ourselves in the mirror and acknowledge it within ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Or for ourselves. But this right here is the ultimate game. I appreciate it. It can only put points on the board. And like I said, especially with this type of generation going on where everybody act like they don't know their role or don't know their place, and I did say it that way, there's nothing wrong with sharpening up your skill sets, sharpening up who you are as an individual. There's nothing wrong with it. You ain't never too old to learn. Never too old to learn. There are 18-year-olds walking around more mature than 40-year-olds. There are 32-year-olds that are more mature than 60-year-olds. You feel me? There are some people out here Y'all know how the game go. You feel me? So just because you grown, that don't mean you got all the answers. What y'all think? What y'all think about this?